All right, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, world? Sorry, that might be a little too loud. Welcome to Freedom to Vent. I'm your host, Bon Bon. Today we got a little special guest here, all the way out from Oklahoma. She does variety, start meetings. Ain't you like a minister or
Yeah.
a minister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ministers will have a dual. I have a dual. What would they call it? A dual license, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Dual
not only am I
license.
a minister, but I'm also a.
She's real
ordained
tradish. Real tradish. She's in recovery. She's doing great things. I just let her take over. You know what I'm saying? I'm Bama. And this is Casandra.
Casandra,
my bad. She always
Cassandra.
makes everybody say her name right. It's so weird.
I do, and I will. And so if you don't know, now you know.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Get 'em. All right, Cassandra.
Yeah.
All right.
So, well.
Introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Casandra Faye Frazier. I'm from Oklahoma. I grew up in a few towns, but my hometown I call is Thomas, Oklahoma. So if you're from that area, you'll know it as God's country. And but this is pretty cool to be on here. You know, I'm not only that's not just where I'm from, but who I am. I'm a mother. I'm a child of God first and foremost. I hold a lot of hats in our community. You know, I have the opportunity to hold variety meetings. I'm pretty active in AA. I helped start the foundation and Celebrate Recovery before I moved to El Reno. And so right now, where I'm at in my career is I'm a peer recovery support specialist. I work for an organization in Oklahoma City, and I also contract with my tribe, the Shiner Arapaho tribes. But the organization I work for is Southern Plains Tribal Health Board.
Nice.
So on their 988 tribal response grant and on their tribal open response grant.
Dang. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know. Sheesh.
It's pretty cool, man. Like, I don't know, the things that God has done for me since, I just went like this and said, my life is now in your hands.
Right.
It's just been amazing.
I feel like that's where I'm at right now.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like just throwing my hand up. Now everything's just like rolling on top of each other, and it's just like snowball effect.
Yeah.
And all it's gonna do is get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I like that for you, man. I love that for you. That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah. I'm pretty active in ministry too. I've had to step away from a lot of things, a lot of people, places, and things too. Not just because of ministry, but to take care of me.
Yeah.
Take care of me in here and take care of me up here, so that these two things can align together, so that I'm not doing things out of His will. And so it's been a healing journey this year, definitely.
How long have you been on this journey?
I started my recovery in October 2018. I relapsed in May of 2022. Most people wouldn't count it, but I do, because I felt the immediate effect of even having 3 sips of a mimosa like that big, and I felt it immediately, and I was like, ooh, nah, maybe I better not.
Yeah.
But the thought still lingered in my mind, right? Like the thought still lingered in my mind, well, maybe I can make it okay. And then about a month after that had happened, I was talking to a sister in church, and she said, oh, like I have a glass of wine here and there. And that was my justification right there. That was my justification. I said, oh, well, she's a minister. I'm a minister. And if she can do it, I can do it too, right?
Yeah.
No.
It don't work like that.
It don't work like that. Did not work like that at all. So, and I kept thinking about it. And I went on this trip for CACA down in Orlando, Florida. And had one glass of wine. It turned into 3 days straight.
Ooh.
Yeah, turned into 3 days straight. I went into each session, like every morning of those 3 days, just smelling like booze, man, and feeling horrible. I didn't even stay for like the whole sessions. I just went back to my room, passed out, cleaned up, and then went and did it all over again.
Wow.
So, like you're supposed to go sightseeing and like make the best of everything. And I did that a little bit, but I was in such a hurry to go to, of all places, a Henry Hudson's pub. And it's crazy too because the people that I'm with, I had this gray shirt on, and it has 4 elders on it, and they're in their regalia, and it says the Wisdom Keepers. And I remember, it's crazy because I just looked at a video a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, man, I'm supposed to be, I'm a wisdom keeper, and here I am, like, doing shots, chugging beers, throwing darts, and just forgetting every single thing that I had learned just went out the window for a temporary fun.
Yeah. And you was on a ministry retreat?
Not ministry retreat.
Like to
it had
learn?
to do with my work, and so then I was working for my tribe, the Tribal Opioid Response Grant. And part of being a peer is that you're in recovery. Well, I had relapsed, and I'm open about this, and I'm honest about it with our community and with the public as well. Like, I relapsed, and I thought it was okay. I okayed myself to drink, and really alcohol is what started everything else in my life. And so I knew that, but when I came out of transitional living, when I came out of prison in the transitional living, I didn't have a very good plan set up. I just looked at like, oh wow, like I'm in this position, and I let everybody else's recovery be my recovery. And so I failed to take care of me in that respect. And so my meetings got less and less. My accountability was like far from me, and I was just really gliding on self-will and self-strength, and that didn't get me very far for very long.
So tell me about, like, what was it like growing up in little God's country?
It was fun. It was fun. And so those of you that are watching that subscribe to this, man, like, I've known Siobhan since we were young, and there's been a huge timeline missing in each of our lives. But so, like, a little background before I get into that, he used to be his mom. To me, I feel like your mom is your grandma.
My grandma is my mom.
Your grandma is your mom.
Yeah.
And so the woman that gave birth to him really was married to my dad, and for years, I think, that relationship, was, I think I was maybe 15 or 16 by the time, it was completely cut off. But so I've known Siobhan for like a long time.
Yeah.
And so there's bits of our childhood that's, the same but so different at the same time. But my childhood and growing up in Thomas was pretty cool. I had a lot of friendships, a lot of brotherships, a lot of sisterships with the community, and we just. But that's where I really learned how to party.
Yeah,
because my dad partied.
Yeah,
my aunties partied.
I can tell you, I remember going to staying with y'all, and I think it was 13, and I remember sitting at the table with my incubator. That's what I like to call it.
That's a good way to put it.
With my incubator. I remember sitting there, man, and I was already smoking weed. They already knew that. And I remember her saying, it's your 13th birthday. I think this is when I started, like, really getting heavy in it. And she was like, you hang out with us. And I remember smoking, and then she started letting me drink. She was drinking with me. And, like, I remember that night, like, being so crazy, man. Like, I remember leaning back on a chair and, like, just leaning back, and I thought I was falling. I grabbed the table and stuff, and they started laughing at me. But it was whenever she would, like, I don't know, bro. I don't like talking about that stuff too much, but we got to get it out, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But man, like, just seeing, like, how sloppy drunk she would get when she would put us in the rooms and, like, keep us in there, and, like, man, like, I don't know, man. There was. And the beatings, oh my God.
It was bad. I mean, like, I always loved it when he would come visit us, but at the same time I hated it too, because I knew exactly how things were for us, behind closed doors, or when my dad stepped out of the scene or out of the room,
Yeah.
went to work, like I knew it was going to be pure hell. And I always knew that when you came to visit, it was all going to be directed at you. Like, and me and my sister, we talk about it, you know, occasionally. And, you know, she just remembers how mean that individual, how that caregiver was to us, and especially to you. And, you know, that always hurt my heart. Like, that always hurt my heart. And I hated it. Like, I hated feeling that way at such an early age, knowing that, you know, because, like, we cried for help. We told people, and it was just like, oh no, that's not really happening, because they don't see it, you know.
Yeah.
And but we cried out for help. I kind of use that as fuel today, you know.